Hey guys, welcome back to the Thisissoul Shop YouTube channel. We are here again in the Vondelpark, of course, and we're gonna do another instructional video, this time about the scissor technique. The Vondelpark is right behind our store here in Amsterdam. If you want to get some lessons from us, of course, you can always come by and go to our skate school. If you are not able to come by, then these YouTube videos here that we're making are extremely helpful. Check out our channel to learn more, of course. We also have hardware insights and reviews and all that on the skate equipment side, and of course skate lessons like this. This episode is about the scissor technique, and it's called a scissor because you're gonna use your legs like a scissor in this motion to put them right in front of each other. You're using the scissor technique mainly to ride over bad surfaces, but a good question is, why don't you do it always when you're just rolling? And the reason is that if you do the scissor technique, you're actually less able to go to the ground, because if you go down, your feet are next to each other, and if you're in a scissor technique, you cannot go down anymore. So it's not safe to always just use the scissor technique. If you want to know more about falling techniques, then we have an entire video just about falling techniques. But mainly use the scissor technique if you want to ride over bad surfaces. If you're really good at doing the scissor technique, then you can even ride over a kettle grid. All right, so how to do the scissor technique? Most people make a common mistake in that they put their feet too wide when they begin. The scissor technique is really narrow. Your feet are almost touching. There's maybe like the room for one skate in the middle, and then you put your feet forward. A nice way to learn this is to first stand still on the spot, and then to just dance a little bit like this and try to push your foot in front of each other as far as you can. So this is a nice little exercise I'm gonna give you. Practice this next time you go skating. Then you can also do this while riding. So first you get some speed, then you go into the skate position, and then you can do this to just dance a little bit. Just enjoy yourself like this. Put on some music. Then the next exercise is to hold the position for longer. So I'll show you. So you can do one foot in front, hold it a little bit, then the other foot in front. Then you put the other foot in front, hold it a little bit, then the other. And then the last step is to try to keep holding this position and do it as long as you can. When you do this exercise, you notice that it's easier for you to, for example, do the right foot in front instead of doing the left foot in front. Pick your favorite foot and put that one in front. It's better to be really, really good at one of the two positions instead of being a little bit good at both of them, because you only need one to go over all those rough terrains. Me, for example, I always put my left foot in front, so that's what I'm gonna do. So this is the scissoring technique, but actually scissoring technique is only putting your foot in front of each other. And when you ride over bad surfaces, you need more. And this is called the predator stance. So with the predator stance, that's kind of like an elaboration of the scissor technique. And the predator stance comes from the wizard skating style. The Wizard brand is a brand that sells frames that are really long and really maneuverable. And they kind of like made their own terminology a little bit. So they made a new word for the scissor stance if you lean on your back foot. Let me show you from the side. So if you stand like this, normally this is a scissor, and then if you stand like this is a predator. Then if you really want to ride over bad surfaces with it, you need one more thing, and that's body tension. So you need to make all your muscles in your legs, from your belly button down, from your toes up, everything needs to be super strong and super tense, because you need to hold that position. The ground is gonna fight against you, and you need to hold. If you do those three things, put your foot in front of each other, put your weight on your back foot, and make yourself really strong, then you can ride over anything. When you get good at the predator stance, then you can also use this to ride over your first obstacle. So I have this little twig here. I'm gonna put it on the ground, be well prepared. So like 1 meter in front of the twig, I will already be ready. Skate position, predator stance, and then ride over it. It's super easy if you just do 3 things. Put your foot in front of each other, weight on your back foot, and make yourself strong. So now I'm ready to do more complicated obstacles because I mastered the little twig. Of course I can get a bigger one, or I can ride over a ditch like here. This is really exciting for a lot of beginning skaters to ride over something like this. But actually if you do these 3 things correctly, it's super easy. A most common mistake, what I see with students, is that they shift the weight position from back to forward while doing this technique. I'm going to show you a bad example right now. All right. So that's what I see with students, that they shift their weight from the back to the front. Try to hold the weight in the back as hard as you can. So really try to keep your weight in the back like this. Boom. There you go. Okay, so this is gravel and this is a little ditch, and this all went fine. Now let's go find something more difficult. I think we're ready to go right into the grass. At first people think that this is impossible, but it is not. It is actually possible if you use the predator stance. Get some speed, predator stance, and just hold it. Boom. Okay. A lot of people start walking at the end, so they enter the grass in the correct position, then the weight gets shifted to the front, and then you start walking. If you do that, then just remember, make yourself really strong, lean back, and then you got it. It's really important to just play with this a little bit, because you need this technique if you ride through the city, and if there's, for example, a tram rails or some curbs or anything that's just not flat and smooth. You're gonna want to use the predator stance. So you need to be prepared to be able to do it, and the only way to do that is to play or to practice, of course. Playing is more fun than practice. So I recommend, whenever you're like in the Vondel Park, for example, over here skating, and you see a little sewage cap, or you see like a twig or something, just play with it and ride over it just because you can. So, and that way you practice this technique, and whenever you need to use it, you're ready. One more thing you can use the predator stance with is turning. And there's 4 ways to turn, and I think you need to practice them all. So there's turning left with your left foot in front, turning left with your right foot in front, and of course both those options in a turn to the right. So I'll show you a predator stance turn. I like this. Boom. It's a really nice and stable way to turn. Much better than doing it in a skate position like this. The predator one is way smoother. One more thing you can use the predator stance or the scissor for is when you ride fakie. Because when you go backwards, this is called fakie riding, you always have your foot in front of each other. Riding fakie is more advanced, of course, so we're gonna do a whole video about this later in the series. And if you want to check it out, subscribe to the channel. We make a new video like this every week. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.